Here's a real practical comparison of the newest Kindle lineup. The first color Kindle, the newest Paperwhite that's all about speed, an older Paperwhite as a reference point, and the smaller basic Kindle. And by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits you, whether you should upgrade, and most importantly, whether the color model is actually worth paying extra for. A lot of people call any e-reader a Kindle, like the brand became the name of the whole category. But these devices aren't all the same. The differences sound small on paper, but in daily use, reading at night, carrying it on trips, highlighting, moving files, page turn speed, those details matter a lot. Before we get into the devices, here's the quick refresher on e-ink. E-ink is designed to look like paper. It doesn't shine light straight into your eyes the way a phone or tablet screen does. That's why you can read for long stretches without the same kind of eye fatigue. Second, battery life is crazy good because the screen doesn't need constant power. Mostly, it uses energy when you change pages and when the front light is on. And third, it's one of the only screen technologies that stays readable in bright sunlight without turning into a mirror. All right, now let's talk about the color Kindle first, because that's what everyone's curious about. This is the first Kindle with a color e-ink display, and it's positioned as the premium option. It typically comes with the signature style feature set, extra storage, auto brightness, and wireless charging. The body is simple, one power button, USB-C for charging and transfer, and everything else is touch controls. In the hand, it feels like a Paperwhite, thin, light, and easy to hold. On the larger models, the screen is usually flush with the front, so it looks sleek and modern. On the smaller basic Kindle, the screen is slightly recessed, which doesn't look as fancy, but it can reduce the chance of scratching when you place it face down. Either way, these screens are matte and made for everyday use. No shiny glass glare situation. So the big question, why would you want color on an e-reader? There are three main reasons. First, book covers. It sounds like a small thing, but it makes the library feel more alive and easier to scan. Second, comics and graphic novels. And third, and this is the most useful in real life, highlighting with color. If you study, collect quotes, plan projects, or annotate ideas, color highlights can be genuinely valuable. You can mark different categories with different colors and later find what you need faster. Now, the honest part. Color e-ink has trade-offs. The colors are not like an iPad, not even close. The vibe is more like a printed newspaper, muted, softer, and not designed for bright, punchy visuals. If you're expecting vivid artwork, you'll be disappointed. Color e-ink is more about color information than color beauty. Also, because the color layer sits on top of the display, text can look a little grainier compared to a pure black and white e-ink screen. It's not unreadable, it's still good, but side by side, the black and white models usually look cleaner and sharper for normal reading. There's another issue some users have noticed on early units, a slightly warmer or yellowish tint near one part of the display under certain lighting. Not everyone sees it, and it depends on the unit and brightness, but it's worth mentioning because once you notice something like that, you can't unsee it. And here's a big one, performance. When you read normal text, e-ink is fine, but when you scroll images, zoom PDFs, or flip through comic pages, refresh behavior becomes more obvious. That flash effect that e-ink does when updating the screen can feel slow if you're doing image-heavy stuff. Some people will tolerate it because they want color, others will get annoyed fast. So let me be very clear. If your main goal is comics with smooth, fast, colorful pages, a tablet will still win easily. Color Kindle isn't trying to replace a tablet. It's trying to add just enough color to an e-reader experience. Now let's talk about something people forget, file transfer and formats, because this can literally decide whether you love a Kindle or regret it. You can move files by plugging into a computer using USB-C. On some newer models, the device may behave more like a media device instead of a basic flash drive, which can make transfer feel slightly less drag and drop depending on your system. On Windows, it's usually straightforward. On some setups, you may need an extra step or tool, still doable, just less old-school simple. PDF works, and it's the best choice for fixed layout documents. Some common ebook formats are supported, and others may require conversion depending on what you use. If you rely on regional formats like FB2, you'll likely need to convert first. And here's a super important detail for the Color Kindle. If you want a color PDF to reliably stay color, the best method is using the official Send to Kindle upload approach so it syncs through your account library. If you just drop a file onto the device, you might not always get the exact same behavior depending on file type and how it's handled. It's not hard, but you need to know it, especially if you're buying color for work documents.
Also, yes, there's Bluetooth for audiobooks. It works. But realistically, if you're going to listen, your phone is still the easiest tool for that. The real power of a Kindle is the opposite. It's a reading device with no notifications, no scrolling, no social media temptation. It's meant for focus. That's the whole point. Okay, now let's move to what I think is the real hero for most people, the newest Paperwhite. This is the model that quietly makes the strongest argument for itself because it's built for